Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Oksana, and this is Education USA Virtual in Eurasia and Central Asia. Our advising services are fully virtual, and we provide individual and group advising sessions, undergraduate and graduate application guidance, essay review, support, virtual workshops and webinars, and also competitive students programs. If you are interested in our upcoming events, don't forget to scan the QR code and join our monthly events. And today I'm glad to introduce you our next topic, and we're going to talk about how to choose graduate program and specifically about research fit and career goals. Our speaker, Michael from Westcliff University, will tell us about choosing the right graduate program, what it is about, how to discover the best program, how to evaluate this program, and if you have any questions about graduate programs, you're welcome to write them in the chat and we will come back to them at the end of our presentation. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining as well. On behalf of Westcliff University and Education USA, we're excited to welcome you to today's webinar, How to Choose the Right Graduate Program, Research Fit, and Career Goals. My name is Michael, and today I'll walk through some of the most important factors students should consider when selecting a graduate program in the United States. Whether you are exploring different fields such as business, technology, education, or other graduate pathways, choosing the right program is about much more than rankings alone. It's about finding the right academic, professional, financial, and personal fit. Today, we will cover 4 key areas students should evaluate when researching graduate programs so that you can learn how to evaluate different options and align your choices with your long-term goals. After that, I'll also share some information about Westcliff University as a possible graduate school option, including our programs, campuses, tuition, and how to apply. So first, talking about academic goals, 3 key areas you should look at is program offerings, academic support, and institutional support. Some important questions that you should ask are, does the university offer the specific program or specialization I need? Is the curriculum more research-focused or practice-focused? What is the average class size? And what type of academic support is available? For example, some students may thrive in highly research-oriented environments, while others may prefer programs focused on industry application and practical experience. For example, at Westcliff University, many of our programs are designed with flexibility and career advancement in mind, especially for students balancing education with professional experience. You should consider things such as faculty expertise, research opportunities, networking opportunities, availability of academic support services. For students pursuing research-oriented degrees, advisor fit can be extremely important. Not only just does the faculty member have the specialization that you're interested in, but you should definitely reach out to them and have a talk with them as well to see if they are a good fit for you in terms of what kind of support and advising that you will need to succeed. For example, is your advisor someone who provides a lot of guidance, or do you prefer to work more independently from them? Having that good fit is really important to succeeding in graduate school. In addition to that, you should consider if you have other mentorship opportunities, as well as opportunities for collaboration, publishing, or research funding. Finding the right academic environment can significantly shape both the graduate school experience and future career opportunities. Location is another major factor that students can sometimes underestimate. Where a university is located can influence internship access, networking opportunities, industry exposure, cost of living, and lifestyle and community experience. Students should think carefully about the type of environment where they will be most successful. Some important questions include, is the area safe and welcoming? Is there a community or support system available? What industries are prominent nearby? Are there internship or employment opportunities? And what is the overall cost of living? Students should also consider whether the location matches their personal preferences and long-term career goals. For example, students interested in technology may benefit from proximity to tech hubs. Students pursuing business may look for strong corporate networks. Students in education or healthcare may prioritize local practicum opportunities. At Westcliff University, for example, our campuses are located in regions with strong business and technology industries, helping students connect with professional opportunities while studying. Cost is naturally one of the biggest considerations for graduate students. However, affordability should be evaluated as a whole, not just based on tuition alone, because you should take into consideration and calculate total tuition costs along with program length, living expenses, transportation, technology or material fees. You should also research scholarships, financial aid opportunities, graduate assistantships, teaching assistant positions, internship or practical training opportunities. A shorter program length may also reduce total educational expenses and to enter the workforce sooner. Careful financial planning can help students make sustainable decisions that support both their academic and career goals. For example, Westcliff is known for our affordable tuition, and we have multiple scholarships available, as well as the ability to pursue paid off-campus internships. For many students, graduate education is closely connected to long-term career advancement. Because of this, you should carefully evaluate a university's career support systems and graduate outcomes. You should ask questions such as, are there strong job placement rates? Does the university have employer partnerships? What career services are offered? Is there alumni mentorship or networking support? You should also look into graduate employment outcomes, average salaries, industries where alumni work, long-term growth opportunities. Strong career support can make a significant difference both during and after graduate study. At Westcliff University, we place a strong emphasis on career readiness, professional networking, and practical learning experience designed to support students in achieving their career goals. To conclude, choosing the right graduate program is about finding the best overall fit academically, professionally, financially, and personally. We encourage you to research carefully, ask questions, compare your options thoughtfully, and align your educational choices with your long-term goals. There is no single perfect university for everyone. The best choice is the one that supports your individual aspirations and successes. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Westcliff University and the opportunities that we have for you as potential graduate students. As you can see from this map, we have numerous campuses across the US. Our main campus is located in Irvine, and we have additional campuses in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Miami, Orlando, Dallas, and a new campus opening in Toronto that is currently not available to international students, but will be available soon. We are also fully accredited by the WASC and the ACBSP. At Westcliff, we have a high degree of flexibility in our different program formats. All of our programs are available online remote. This is not F1 supported, but you can certainly take these program from your home country without having to travel to the US and get an actual degree from Westcliff University. You can also start your program online and then later transition to taking in-person classes. And for in-person classes, you have two options at Westcliff. You can take the weekly format classes, which meet once per week per class for 3 hours, or the professional format, where students take online coursework and for 1 weekend per semester, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day classes per class per semester. So I'd like to give you a quick snapshot of Westcliff University. We have over 9,000 students representing over 100 nationalities. We offer programs in high demand industries like business, technology, and education, and graduate tuition is around $16,000 annually. As I mentioned previously, we have a main campus located in Irvine. From the chart below, you can see which programs are available in which campus because the campuses have different offerings. All of our programs are available at our Irvine campus in the weekly and professional format, whereas our other campuses throughout the US are mainly professional format only, with the exception of the Santa Monica, Los Angeles campus, which offers our MBA and DBA in a weekly format as well. So I'd like to describe a little bit more about the programs with you. So these are all of our master programs available in our three main colleges of business, technology, engineering, and education. We have an MBA available, as well as an MSIT, MSCS, MSCM, and a Master of Arts in TESOL. All of our programs have concentrations available to them, which you can see in white below. These concentrations allow students to specialize in an area that really interests them, particularly if you're focused on wanting to work in a particular field for your career. For example, it's very common for our students to take our MBA program and choose one of our STEM designated programs as a concentration. So that includes digital and strategic marketing, business analytics, cybersecurity, and more. So at Westcliff, we really let you choose the program that you most aligns with your goals. At the doctorate level, we have two programs available. We have our DBA and our EdD program. Both of these are focused on practical application rather than research focus. So we really prepare students to work in these fields and succeed through the concentrations that they choose to make them the best fit for their goals. One of the ways that we support students in career goals is through our career services. This is available to all students from day one. We encourage students to not wait to take advantage of it. It is available to anybody enrolled at Westcliff, and it is available to alumni as well. So we can do things like provide one-on-one guidance for personal branding and interview preparation. We also provide workshops and career fairs. We are partnered with over 60 businesses for CPT and OPT, including major local businesses such as Simmons, California Bacon Trust, Tech Coast Angels, Sony, and more. We have some technology available, such as an AI for helping with resume writing, as well as an Interstride, which is a F1 friendly job board where businesses will post job openings available to F1 students. The average salary for our graduates is $87,500 with a potential up to $130,000. We have an 89% job placement rate after graduation. So if success in your future career is important to you, we have a lot of resources available to help you, get the career that you want to have. So a little bit about tuition at Westcliff. Our master's tuition is about $15,030, and our doctorate tuition is $16,560. These are annual rates of full-time load, 18 credits per year. And these are spread across 3 semesters. So you are not paying, tuition is paid semesterly. You are not paying all of that amount at once. You are paying a third of it at a time. And we do also have monthly payment plans available. A factor to consider in terms of living expenses, housing and transportation, we estimate that to be about $20,000 per year. So another way that Westcliff is very affordable, along with our low tuition, is that we have scholarships available to international students. We have automatic merit-based scholarships that don't require an extra application, that is automatically evaluated. If you are an incoming F1 student with a minimum GPA of 3.0, you will automatically be awarded between $1,000 to $5,000 based on your GPA, and this is renewable per year. So every year that you're enrolled at Westcliff, you will be awarded between $1,000 to $5,000 if you maintain a 3.0 or above GPA. And then in addition to that, we have other merit-based scholarships that you can apply for separately with a separate application. This typically involves writing an essay, in submitting letters of recommendation or a resume, and these scholarships can be up to $10,000 per year. A quick thing to note is that the automatic merit-based scholarships and the ones that you apply for cannot be combined. It's one or the other, and so you choose whichever one is greater. Another thing to consider about Westcliff is we have a high degree of flexibility in terms of start date. We are really available to work around student schedule. So we have 6 start dates per year. And if a student ever has to defer their enrollment for whatever reason, the most they will have to wait for the next start date is 2 months. We are currently accepting applications for our next start date at August 31st for the fall semester. And the application deadline for that is June 8th. So there's still plenty of time to apply to Westcliff if this sounds like an appealing option to you. So applications to Westcliff are very easy. You apply via westcliff.edu/apply, where there is an application fee of $50. We just require you to submit a diploma of qualifying degree, as well as an unofficial transcript with a minimum GPA of 2.5 and proof of English proficiency. And English proficiency can be provided through test scores, such as the TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo score, and the minimum scores are shown in the chart at the bottom of the slide. We also accept medium of instruction letters. So, for example, if you went to an international school and you completed a program that was taught in English, we accept letters and proof of that as a waiver for any test scores. We do not require the SAT, GMAT, or GRE. And as mentioned previously, we have 6 start dates per year. So you can apply at any time for any of our future start dates. If you have questions, you should contact admissions@westcliff.edu. Another option, if you do not meet these minimum test scores, if you're a little bit below them, we do have a pathway program for students who need a little bit more studying of English before they're ready for their degree program. So this allows you to take English courses and in at the higher levels, take courses for your degree at the same time as you're taking English courses. We provide support for students through our academic writing center, so students can have somebody help them with writing their essays. And if you're having trouble, for example, writing essays in English, we provide a lot of support for our international students as well. So that's a little bit about Westcliff. And I would like to thank Education USA for hosting this webinar, and to everyone for joining me today. I'm now happy to move into the question and answer portion of the session, and I'll begin reviewing questions and answering them. Okay. So let's look at the questions here. Is it possible for international students to get a scholarship for studying as a graduate? Yes, and this is actually very common. In fact, I would say that you should be looking for graduate programs where there is some kind of funding opportunity available to you. That can take many forms. It can be a scholarship. It can be a teaching assistant position. And in some cases, there is something called CPT, which schools are authorized to allow students to work in off-campus internships, which can be paid. Not all schools offer CPT. Westcliff, for example, does offer day 1 CPT, where you are able to start CPT as soon as you start the program. Other schools might require you to complete 1 full academic year before you can enroll in CPT. It would be excellent if the speaker could talk about the GRE exam and tips to take the exam. The GRE exam is like any other standardized test. My best advice that I can give you is, as someone who has taken it, is to set up a study schedule. There are a lot of online resources available to help you study for the GRE exam. The best way to make sure that you are prepared is to begin studying in advance. I would say at least start 2 or 3 months in advance, and don't try to cram everything at once. Pace yourself, go through each of the sections, and be sure that as you are studying, you are also reviewing past material as well, so it's maintaining freshness in your mind before you take the exam. If you are someone who gets nervous or overwhelmed through exams, then that is okay. Keep in mind that there are actually a lot of graduate school options that do not require the GRE exam or will accept some other alternative. So that is something that you should consider as well. Okay, next question. Is there still a chance to apply for a master's and PhD level for adults with age 45 plus? Yes, there is. And in fact, it's a lot more common than you might think. For example, when I was in graduate school, the PhD program in particular had a lot of people who had working experience and then decided to take a master's or PhD program to further their career. At Westcliff, for example, a lot of our students are professionals who have been working in their field for several years, decade or more, and are now taking a master's or a DBA program to succeed in their field further. Next question. I completed a bachelor's degree in industrial power engineering and an EPC internship in Madrid working with electrical documentation in industrial systems. How can applicants best present practical industry experience in a US graduate application? So that is a great thing to put in. There are two ways you can reach out. One is in your personal statement, your statement of purpose. That is a great opportunity to talk about your previous experience and how that feeds into what your goal is at graduate school. That's the purpose of the statement of purpose, is to say why you are going to graduate school and how your experiences up until then prepared you for grad school. The other thing is that many applications will require or allow you to submit a resume or CV, and that's a great opportunity to list your practical experience as well, any internships that you have. This is also a good thing to talk about if you reach out to any of the advisors. If you research different advisors and you found a school with somebody that you would be interested in working with, in that conversation, you can certainly talk about your practical experience, and they can give you some more information about how to present that experience to the university. Next question. How to get funding for research-based programs in STEM field graduate programs, and what kind of profile should candidates possess? That's a good question. So STEM field in particular runs on a lot of grant funds. So the university should make sure that the program is well funded through grants and other opportunities. So you should be looking for an advisor who is researching in a field that you're interested in, but you should also make sure that that program is well funded. And you can certainly reach out to that advisor, that potential advisor, and see about the funding available for the program. In my case, for example, when I applied for graduate school, I reached out to a potential advisor, and he informed me that there were scholarships available, TA positions available for students, and that helped inform my decision. Next question. How much does contacting potential supervisors before applying actually influence admissions decisions? I would say that this is not a requirement for admissions decisions, because ultimately faculty do not make decisions about admitting students, at least not for the first pass. However, contacting potential supervisors is extremely useful for helping you learn more information about the school and about the program that you're interested in. There can be a lot more depth to it than something that's available just on the website. So I highly encourage that you, if at any school that you're interested in, is to reach out to that department within that school and try to set up a meeting so that you can ask questions like some of the questions that I spoke about earlier in the presentation to potential advisors or potential members of that department. Next question. When choosing universities for graduate study, how should students balance factors like rankings, funding, location, and program reputation? I think personally that rankings are not as important, because you want to make sure that the program is best fit for you. Rather than focusing on rankings, you should be considering networking opportunities and student success. So you want to make sure that you are involved in a program where students are moving on to success in their field, whether that is through research or whether that is through career opportunities. So where are graduate students work? Where are alumni working? How have they been applying their skills? What networking opportunities are available? For research, you should be looking at, are alumni publishing? Where are they publishing? What kind of research are they doing? How are they getting research support in the postgraduate area? Is there any unified platforms to check all the master's programs? Yes, there are, and there's several. One of the common ones is called US News. This allows you to search colleges by US state as well as by major. There is another one called Big Future by the College Board. These are two major third-party businesses that do education in the US. And then on the government side, we do have the College Navigator. This is run by the US government and provides more information about different institutions that are available to students in the US. Next question. Are there many chances to get full scholarships for PhD for a person with age over 45 who is going to pursue it? Yes, and I would say that particularly for PhD programs, you do want to find one that has at least partial funding, if not fully funded. You want to make sure that the school has funding available to you, and that involves, them having confidence in you that you will provide, you will succeed in the PhD program. Funding can and usually does look like teaching assistantships, graduate assistantships, which is what I did in graduate school. And that will involve like teaching a class typically on your own. And that is one of the ways that you'll be earning a wage and earning financial support. Direct funding scholarships usually come from grants. And in that situation, you would want to reach out to the school to see if there are any school-specific grants that are available to students. For example, some departments will have enough funding to cover 1 or 2 students, particularly for the program. And then there are also grants that are available to students that aren't tied to a specific institution, that are more based on subject area. So that's something that you should be looking into as well, to see if there are grants available for your specific field. And then that can be applied to supporting you for the program that you choose. Okay, next question. How can I change my major from one to another? This is typically harder to do for a PhD program. It is possible in some circumstances for a master's program. The best thing to do is to reach out to the institution that you're enrolled in and ask them if that is an option that is available. And this is certainly something that you might want to talk about before you enroll in a program, and see what options are for you. This is also a good chance to, when you talk to potential advisors, if they have any recommendations about what kind of specialty that you would want to enroll in. For example, if you're looking at the computer science level, do you want to specialize in AI or do you want to specialize in cybersecurity? Those are actually very different fields, and with some overlap, but with some major differences as well. So when it comes down to choosing which program you want to do, it's best to think about what kind of career goals that you have. And this is a good opportunity to talk to the advisor to see what their differences they see in the programs available at the institution where they work. All right, next question. Are there any chances to get scholarship if I change my major from digital agricultural economics to AI engineering or automation and robotization? Yes. If you qualify for those kinds of programs, STEM programs in particular, in sort of forward-thinking fields such as that, do have funding opportunities available to them. A lot of universities are starting specific AI programs. Westcliff University, in fact, is one of them. We just started an AI concentration at our computer science program at both the bachelor's and master's level. And there is typically general funding available to all students, and then specific funding for specific programs such as that, because they see how in demand it is and that students are interested in these programs and they want graduates, to have that kind of knowledge available to them. In terms of changing your major from one field to the other, especially from a non-STEM field to a STEM field, this is the point in the application for graduate school that you want to demonstrate the capability and knowledge to be able to do that. If you do not have any kind of degree in AI engineering, you want to still demonstrate that you have some skills in that field. So this would be a good opportunity for you to include a project that you've done, for example, or any research that you've done. And this is also a good chance to reach out to an advisor and ask them how to best demonstrate an interest and knowledge in the field. In some cases, it might require you to take certain classes to prove a base level competency in a field before you can enroll in a graduate level program. For example, at Westcliff, we do have an Achieve Pathway program for students who have not taken a business degree to get into the MBA program, or have not taken a computer science degree to get in the computer science program. We have an extra 4 classes that students can take to gain baseline competency to be able to enroll in the graduate level programs, even if they don't have an undergraduate degree in that field. Okay.
Thank you so much, Michael. So I think we have one more question in the chat, so I will just show it on the screen so we could
Okay.
also see it as well. So do you also provide TA or research assistantship to first-year international graduate students?
So at Westcliff, we do not have TA programs because we're not a research-focused university. We're very practical-focused. We do provide opportunities for CPT, like I said, off-campus internships that can be paid. However, at other universities, it is very common for there to be TA positions and research assistantships available to international students. And that is something that you should check with any university that you are interested in to see if they have that availability.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much once again for covering so many questions. And yeah, so today we received so many questions about graduate programs and how to choose, how to fund them as well. And I think we can just like sum up this wonderful discussion with our general question about your tips maybe or your advice to students who are going to apply at the university, who are choosing their graduate students. Like, what is your recommendation and like final suggestion to the students?
I think my largest suggestion is for you to know what you are going to graduate school for. Why are you going to graduate school? What is your goal? What is your long-term goal? And then use that as your sort of guiding signpost to decide which graduate program works best for you. It beyond just sort of, I want to study, business. I want to study AI. Why? What are you hoping to get out of it? What do you see your future as? What is this? Graduate school is not the goal. Graduate school is the next step towards the goal. So you should know what your goal is, and that way you can decide which graduate program will be the right step to take to get to that goal.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks to our viewers and students who sent us these questions before the webinar. Thank you, Michael, once again for joining us today and for this wonderful presentation about funding and choosing a graduate program. And for those who are interested in our upcoming events, don't forget to scan the QR code and register for the next webinars. Thanks, everyone, and see you next week.